Welcome back, trainers, and in this video we're going to be discussing Shadow Pokemon and doing a little bit of a comparison with a, say, level 50 Shadow compared to its non-Shadow format level 50 as well. And the Shadow, I'm going to have to say 99% of the time is going to have worse IVs than the non-Shadow that we're comparing it to, so there's not going to be any disadvantage coming from the non-Shadow Pokemon. So what about them? Well, there's this power creep going on here. We have the fusion going on. Soon we're going to be getting Crown Zacian and Zamazenta, which is just going to be another level of damage. Shadow Mewtwo is just extreme. Duskmane, Necrozma, and Dawnwings are absolutely off the chart. And now we do have Kyurem Black and White. And with these Pokemon, if you've made multiple of them, you're going to be able to do all kinds of raids by yourself. We're talking about Megas as well, all right? Tier 5s. You know, you could go out here during these raid days and just kind of dominate. And I'm going to show you a little bit of my collection here and doing the comparison in just a second. So we also do have the new Dynamax and Gigantamax, but with the Shadow Pokemon, you don't have to really worry about that because when they're Shadow, they're Shadow. They can't do anything else, right? You can't get a Dynamax that can be a Shadow or a Gigantamax that could be a Shadow. They're their own category that doesn't have to worry about the rest of the world. And that's the nice thing about them. So they are going to be a lot more expensive to power up. So there is that to consider. You can't trade Shadow Pokemon. So there's that too. Hopefully when we can increase the IVs, Shadow Pokemon will be included. But I have a little bit of a feeling, I should have shut my mouth just now, but not even talk about it, that they will probably exclude Shadow Pokemon from being able to raise their IVs. All right, but with that said, let's go ahead and hop into this. But one more thing to consider if you're, didn't know or not, I'm pretty sure you do, most of you, they do 20% more damage and take 20% more damage right back as well. So that's the benefit of Shadow Pokemon in general, right? So they're going to be doing that much more. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of comparison here. We're going to start it off with Metagross and we're going to end with Mewtwo. So you can see the strongest Pokemon as far as damage output in the game. Maybe Mega Rayquaza might be able to come close to it, but I don't think so. But let's go ahead and I'm going to get right into this here. All right, so taking a look at my level 50 100% IV Metagross compared to my level 50 Shadow Metagross. So it's at, the Shadow's at 14, 13, 10. So not even still at a disadvantage here. Both at level 50. The damage output, and I did make sure both of them do have the same moves for all of the things that we're going to be taking a look at here. Regular Metagross sitting at DPS 43.1, while the Shadow is sitting at 51.9. That is just right around the same as the Mega Metagross, although the Mega Metagross is going to be able to stay in the battle a whole lot longer than the Shadow. But when you have multiple of these Shadows, you see, the power starts adding up, and I'm not done there. We're going to compare the level 40 to Shadow to a level 50 Metagross as well. So yeah, so there you have that. Incredible, right? Let's go ahead and move on to the next one here. This is going to be a level 50 Metagross like we were just discussing, the same one, and then a level 40 Shadow. So the level 50, of course, is going to be sitting at 43.1 like we've seen, and the Shadow is sitting at 48.5. So you don't even have to use the XL candies, and you'll still be outpacing the level 50 non-Shadow Metagross. See, that's the power of these things. It could be at a 0 IV, the Shadow, and still outperform it as far as damage output. Granted, you are going to be going down a little bit faster, but for the most part, the Metagross Shadow can hold its own pretty well. All right, now let's go ahead and move on to another Pokemon here. Taking a look at Garchomp. So pretty much all the comparisons are going to be at level 100, or sorry, level 50. Well, 100% IV, my gosh. All right, so Garchomp, Dragon Tail, and Outrage. Okay, that's the moveset. I'm not going to call out all the moves for every one of these. It's going to be sitting at 40.7 damage per second, all right? Shadow at level 50, IV is 14, 15, 12. Its damage output is going to be sitting at 49.0. So outpacing it by at least 9 points, which is just incredible. So there you have the Garchomp. I love this thing, and I am actually working on another one here, powering up another Shadow Gible because it's just so strong. I could Mega Evolve this, and then you can throw your Shadows behind the Mega Evolution because you can have multiple, right? Plus you can't even Mega Evolve your Shadows. You will have so much damage output and be able to do so much by yourself or with minimal people, right, for their category. All right, this is a fun one. We have Groudon here, another 100% IV. It's going to be, of course, it has Precipice Blades, sitting at 40.8 damage per second here. And then we do have the Shadow, which has horrible IVs, attack 8, defense 8, and stamina 11. Okay, and well, we're sitting at 47.6. Okay, so we got pretty much a whole 8 points above the regular one, even with horrible IVs here. Another reason why I invested in it, I know such a pretty has a lot of XL candies, right? I don't care about the Stardust. The candies that I took to make this thing is just incredible. And again, you can trade a purified Pokemon, but you can't trade a Shadow, so you can't, you know, make it lucky. All right, moving on here. This is another fun one here. We have the Shundo Conkeldurr with Dynamic Punch on there, and it's sitting at 39.3 DPS. And then the Shadow with 10 attack, 9 defense, and then 14 stamina, sitting at 46.8. Incredible. So another reason why I powered this thing up. I love it. It's really fun to use. Pretty squishy when it comes to the Master League, but it really does put in that work. Most of these I'm showing you, pretty much all of these are going to be used for Raids and or Master League, okay? These are completely powered up Pokemon, and this is why I'm doing the comparison. You can do the same thing with any Pokemon. I'm just giving you some of the hardest hitters and the most relevant that you probably would want to look at. You know, you can take a Shadow Pokemon that's in the Great League. It's going to be doing more damage, but you got to think it's also taking more damage, okay? All right, moving on here. Rhyperior with Rock Wrecker sitting at... And if I don't say the quick moves, I know they both have the same one, okay? Sitting at 38.2 DPS, while the Shadow level... This one's not even maxed out. Oh my goodness. This one's at level 47. 15 in attack. Okay, it has it there. Rock Wrecker, of course, and not even maxed out. Sitting at 45.5. So, and the regular one is sitting at 38.2. Incredible. See that? I'm telling you, most of these Shadows, you can bring them up to level 40 and they will still be outpacing pretty much their level 50 normal forms, okay? That's just the power of these things. Absolutely incredible. All right, just a little heads up, okay? This is one of my favorite things to use, so it makes the game so much easier with this power creep that's going on here. All right, moving on here, we do have Excadrill. This is a nice one as well. 100% IV. Oh, no, it's not. It's got 12 in stamina. All right, well, it has Scorching Sands, by the way. 37.4 DPS for the regular, while the Shadow at level 50 with 10 in attack, sitting at 47.1, nearly 10 points. It is over 10 points. That's incredible. Look at that. Scorching Sands. Shadow Excadrill putting in that work. Let's go. All right, now we have one of my favorites here, Staraptor. An incredible investment when it came to that Shadow. Oof. But it did have 14 in attack. I mean, looking at the IVs, they're not bad. Regular Staraptor, this does have Fly, is going to be sitting at a whopping 42.5. Wow, let's go Staraptor. 42.5. That's a lot of DPS, but it is pretty squishy. So the Shadow's going down that much faster. Shadow again, 15 in attack, is going to be sitting at 51.7. Damn, we're getting into Mewtwo DPS category levels here. All right, that's pretty awesome. Moving it on here, we do have Gardevoir, another one of my favorite Shadows, and it is 100% IV. It's going to be sitting at 35.4, while the Shadow is going to have 14 in attack and sit at 42.7. An extreme jump there. So again, if you need some extreme fairy power, you can go in there with your Mega Gardevoir, the one that I have here, and then behind it, the Shadow. And you can make as many Shadows as you want, and that's the nice thing about them. So you can just go in there with that absolute power, right? Along with your Mega Evolution, too. All right, the final one, Mewtwo. You ready for this? Let's look here. All right, 100% IV. Oh, nope. 14. I have a 100, but this is, dang, it's 15, 15, 14, but give me a break, all right? Pretty much. It took me 6 years to find a 100, and I'm not powering it up right now. Psystrike, of course, sitting at 50.1 DPS. All right, for the regular Mewtwo. Shadow, level 50, 14 attack, sitting at 60.4 freaking DPS. That is extreme. Okay, so should have done a comparison with a level 40 Mewtwo. Well, maybe I'll put it up here. I don't know. Maybe I'll throw it up for you really quick in a second. I don't know the numbers because they're not right in front of me. But there you have it, folks. I just wanted to show you just a few fun examples of my shadow Pokemon. And I got one more here for you. I'm going to throw this one up. This is of all of them. Since we do have the Audino Mega thing going on here, I can help you prepare a little bit better and help you choose which one you want to have in what order with the exact DPS so you can do as much damage as quick as possible. All right, so we're going to go from right to left. So we do have Duskmane Necrozma, okay, with Metal Claw and Sunsteel Strike. This son of a gun is sitting at 58.0 DPS. That is incredible. 58.0 damage per second for Duskmane Necrozma. All right, with Metal Claw and Sunsteel Strike. So you're going to want to lead that up against Mega Audino, okay? Next up, we do have, in this order, you're going to want to lead next with the Shadow Metagross. This is going to be the level 50, sitting at 51.9. And then we do have the Shadow at level 40, sitting at 48.5. Okay, you don't even need to power that son of a gun up. And then finally, a level 50, 100% IV Metagross, sitting at 43.1. Now, of course, the regular Metagross at level 50 non-shadow is going to be in the battle a little bit longer than the non-shadows, but that damage from those shadows is going to be incredible. And I myself personally have one completely maxed out, as we can see here, and then I do believe I have 3 more at level 40. It's just, I'm going to go around just soloing it. It's not like you need to make these shadows to do it, I don't think. But it'll make your life a whole lot easier. They're definitely super meta relevant when it comes down to rating. But there you go, folks. Yeah, you're going to want to lead what's Duskmane Necrozma. Son of a gun is going to be doing a lot of damage. Anyways, thank you for watching. If you did enjoy this, little something about shadow Pokemon here, just filling you in to let you know that powering up the meta relevant ones, multiple of them, and maybe you're on the edge. Maybe you're like, oh man, I've been hunting this one for like months now, maybe even like a year or more, and I can't find a good attack, with good IV spread. And if you're sitting on one that's pretty decent, say, okay, you're like, okay, what's the lowest you will go? Did you see my Groudon? It was an 8 attack, an 8 defense. Powered it up, because I don't get that many of those. Now, I wouldn't typically do that, but I didn't have any more Super Rocket Radars, Giovanni ones, so I just went ahead with it, because I know that those little bit of IVs that I do have could make a little difference in Go Battle League, go this much HP and that, but when it comes down to purely trying to do some damage and rating, doesn't really matter, and those are fine. So the choice is up to you. I powered up, obviously, as you can see, many that have lower attack, and I'm doing perfectly fine, and that's not even the half of them. But anyways, there you have it. Thank you for watching, and I'll be catching you all next time. Take care.